Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning. My name is Tori, and I would like to thank you for attending this morning's combined Dharma family and February Shotsuki memorial service. We will begin this service with a moment of quiet sitting. Reverend C.J. Dunford will strike the bell, and we will sit for 1 or 2 minutes to quiet our minds and prepare to hear the Dharma. Then they will strike the bell again, and we will continue the service.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Reverend CJ will now chant the Shi Shin Rai, which is on page 27 of the Purple Service Book, followed by the Hyo-Byakumun dedication passage. Following the dedication, Reverend CJ will chant Amida Kyo, which is on page 101 of the Purple Service Book. During the chanting, the Shotsuki families are invited to come up to offer incense. Nam
Yoyaku. Today, on this occasion of this month's Shotsuki Hoyo Memorial Service, we gather to remember our loved ones who passed away in the month of February. In accordance with our teachings on impermanence, all beings are born, we grow, learn, and love, and then each of us must someday die. Though we may recognize this truth of the Buddha Dharma intellectually, it is only natural that we grieve the parting of our dear loved ones. And the reality of loss is difficult to accept in our hearts, and so we come together to remember them today. Along with impermanence, the truth of interdependence reveals the importance that all beings play in our lives. That every moment we share together is a treasure to be cherished in our hearts. With great compassion, Amida Buddha established the vow of indiscriminate liberation, to lead all beings to the realm of nirvana once our bodies no longer hold life. After death, Buddha immediately brings about our highest attainment of enlightenment and complete liberation from suffering. Because of this vow, our loved ones have also become Buddha, the light of truth, which compassionately guides and embraces us on our journey towards emancipation in this life, here today. May we encounter the boundless light of Buddha and deepen our appreciation for this guidance. May we remember with gratitude all that we've received from those who have been born before us and affirm that we continue to receive guidance in this life within their embrace. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 I'll now read the names of our loved ones who passed away in the month of February. Toshio Adachi, James Asami, Ofui Baba, Machiko Yamada Barber, Donald Phillips Del Colo, Hanae Doi, Shizuyo Doi, Sakuichi Egawa, Amy Melissa Erickson, Nicholas Fernandez, Arata Fujikawa, Masako Fujikawa, James Masao Fujimoto, Sugino Fukumori, Taro Fukumori, Sawai Sandy Futatsuki, Sadako Hammonds, Leonard Yuji Haraguchi, Masako Hayashida, Ash Noi Hirahara, Kinji Hiramoto, Sannosuke Hiraoka, Norman Hirose, Chieko Hori, Denzo Horiike, 小市一安かけこ池田ローズ道へ池田慎太郎今住重一岩崎道へ泉崎一葉ジョージ・テロ香川十日神次郎加藤清子加藤須藤川上玉井キャニオン松地木川メリー照子黒川ゆのすけ草柳桐文子松原千代子松永グレイス静子松岡美佐子松岡木太郎森本吉太郎森下歌森下恵美子森下滝森下エドウィン秋吉武部ジェームズ豊中林貞尾中垣ヘリー吉人中原亀尾中村静子二村九郎西本小僧新田千世新田春子岡川和夫鬼塚津田のお家千読みポハンスティーブ・佐々木ゲリー・ヒロシ・佐々木フェイス・佐々木エレイン・エミコ・佐藤メリー・ヒフノ・スト平尾・田淵静江・田淵よしこ片柳高橋賢治高本静俊武田前時江武田常代滝田ジェニファーさゆり田坂ルース松本内海ロイ脇田一郎山崎デニス・イー霞米倉吉尾ヘリー吉村安吉浦信子吉浦ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナマンダー仏ナマンダー仏ナマンダーナマンダー仏 節阿弥陀経如下願門一時仏在社へ国義十期公六音四大比丘衆1250人区海勢大あらかん修正知識長老者利本マカモ剣念マカカショマカカ千年マカクチラリハタシュリハンダガナンダアンナンダラゴラ教本ハダイビンズルハラダカルディ赤もコンヒナハクラアヌルダニョゼト初代弟子無ポボサンマカサンモンジュシリホジアイタボサンケンダカダイボサン上昇人ボサンニョニョゼト初代ボサン牛釈大堪忍と無料商店大祝二仏語長老者利本十世最高家中万億仏道有世界妙和極楽合道有仏語阿弥陀根源在説法者利本非道が公明意極楽広告修上無祝短寿小楽公明極楽有者利本極楽国土四十乱寿七十羅網七十行十海勢四方修相異女成功非国明和極楽有者利本極楽国土有志ポチ白毒水十万号中四大順に根社富士非変回路黄金瑠璃ハリ五条上流老角薬位金剛瑠璃ハリ社交釈修家ネホ二言直視地中蓮華大尿車輪小式長公王式王公釈式社交白式白公微妙根変化非本極楽国土長中尿税空毒将軍入社利本非部国土上差天が黄金二次中夜六時唯無曼荼羅家上国十条異常異常三各異英国上宗明家供養他法十万億仏即位直時変統本語凡時期合語舍利本極楽国土上中尿税空毒将軍武士舍利本非国上修持奇妙雑式師匠白光空弱オムシャリ下領賓が愚妙心象税商州長公や非食事水和下音五音年長五根五力七母大文破小道文陽税東方合同修上門税音に開新年仏元法上年おシャリ本尿門に市長実税財 来法少々小医者が非部国土無産幕主シャリホンゴブ北道小無産幕少々が教実世小修書海世阿弥陀仏欲量温泉変化少佐シャリホン非部国土未付水道小法上樹波上も水未明非尿百千具弱尿異空差四世音社開示年上年仏年法年相死心チャリ本五部国土上十尿税空六将軍シャリホンおにょいゆんが非仏がこごあみだシャリホン非仏公明無料生じ報国無償小下世皇后阿弥陀うしゃりほん非仏寿命具五人み無量無辺なそぎここ明阿弥陀しゃりほん阿弥陀仏成仏如来お根智こうしゃりほん非仏無量無辺長門弟子海あらかん非千三数水晶の地小と殺種薬部尿税シャリホン非部国土上樹尿税空毒将軍ウシャリホン極楽国土修上尿者海税阿弥バチご中他う一生不生ご主人他非税三十小のうちし単海無量無辺あそぎ公設チャリホンジャフモン社応答本願が法被国教医者が特入用税称号限定耶主上シャリホン不海小前言福徳因年特小非公調理ホン薬有全難死全用人門説阿弥陀仏修持名号約一日約二日約三日約四日約五日約六日約七日一心不乱五人民名十字阿弥陀仏五少々主現在五伝千人十字千風天道即徳往生阿弥陀仏極楽国土シャリホンが健全に小説四言薬修上門税者者応答本願小非国土シャリホンヨガ根者三段阿弥陀仏不可思議空毒逃亡薬有識未仏修未相仏大修未仏修未公仏妙音仏尿税統合が社修小仏各王合国水構造絶相変風三千大千世界戦場実言尿等修上等身税小三不可思議空毒一切小仏小五年後シャリホン年法世界う日が当仏妙 門公仏大円見仏しみと無料精進仏全然法が社主小仏各王五国類公絶相反風三世大先世界全上銀言用等修上等身増上三風化思議空六一切勝負皇后年用シャリ本最高世界無料十仏無料総仏無道道仏大公仏大名仏法相仏上皇仏行税統合合賀社寿小仏不王五国水皇后絶相変風三千大先世界戦場人語妙等修上等死世小三風化思議空徳一切小仏小五年よシャリホン法法世界有縁見仏大小仏南仏小仏二小仏無名仏行税と合賀社主小仏各王五国水皇上絶相反風三千大先世界上銀語両等修上等身世小三風化思議空毒最小仏小五年用シャリ本語世界有志士仏門名仏妙高仏達摩仏法能仏自法仏行税と合賀社主小仏各王五国水合合絶相変風三千大先世界雪上人言尿等修上超心税所三風化思議空毒一切小仏小五年よシャリ本超世界ウボンノン仏死法仏国王仏高校仏大願見仏座敷法言品仏シャリ法下徳仏天意祭儀仏行使命千仏尿峠と動画社主小仏各王五国水構造絶相反風三千大先世界雪上人言尿等修上等身世小三風化思議空毒一切小小五年行シャリ本能尿意運が学校名医一生仏小五年よシャリ本薬善難死善尿人門税小仏小説名宗教名社税小親鸞死全能品一切小仏具小五年大徳風大天王のくたら三脈三宝大成功シャリ本尿等海等真具邪語具小仏小説シャリ本薬人二本願東本願東本願欲小阿弥陀仏国福社税公人と海徳風大天王のくたら三脈三宝大大非国土脈一所脈根性脈登場成功シリ本上善難死善尿人脈は有信者応答本願消費国土シャリ本尿が根者小三小仏不可思議空毒非小仏と薬小説が不可思議空毒にせざご釈無二仏の異邪慶牛寺の釈迦国土行辱白世教辱連直本能辱修上辱明直樹徳は徳たら三脈三宝大 묘캔 간신시호 샤리혼토히 초가라 고조크 악세 고신난지 토크 아노크타라 삼脈삼보다이 이사이세 켄세시 난시 쇼세이난ブセンシコイシャリホングショビク一切世間天人ナシュラトモンブ小説歓喜真珠サライニコブセン涙経ナマンダブナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏。
Please rise, if you are able, to follow along with the Gata, Amita's guiding light, which is on the handout. Please remain standing for the reading of Three Treasures 1. I will now recite the Three Treasures 1 on page 8 of the Purple Service Book. Please feel free to follow along. Three Treasures 1. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now are you living it. Difficult is it to hear the teaching of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. Me absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances. Become units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we're able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. We will now have a children's Dharma message by Reverend C.J.
Good morning, everyone. Please join me in Gasho as we say the name of the Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 I have a book to share, again, as part of my Dharma talk this morning. But I wanted to introduce our theme for the month, which is Pali Nirvana, impermanence, and coping with loss and death. But let's today talk about just impermanence. Can I get a volunteer to tell me what they think of when I say the word impermanence?
Cut flower.
Sorry?
A cut flower.
A cut flower. Why?
Because you cut it at its peak of beauty and then it
Slowly fades. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's beautiful, and then from that moment when it's cut, it will fade. I saw a hand back there. Nothing lasts forever. Oh, okay. These are all really good answers. I was afraid it would be a bit more morbid. Which is often the case. We get really sad when we lose things, or things don't last as long as we want them to. And the book that I have today to share is about thinking about impermanence in a positive way, knowing that when things aren't going in a way that's very good for everyone, for ourselves and for our friends, that there's hope in impermanence because those things won't last forever. And along with that, when we see that there's a problem, we can change those circumstances. And that's part of impermanence too, is our action, our karma is part of impermanence. And so the things that we do in the world may have a real impact on things and promote change. And so our actions can be a part of impermanence as well. So let me get the screen going. The book I want to share with you is called Something Someday. And Amanda Gorman is the one who wrote the words. Does anyone know who that is? Yes. Okay, a few people. And then Christian Robinson is our illustrator. Okay, Something Someday, with words by Amanda Gorman and pictures by Christian Robinson. You are told that this is not a problem, but you're sure there is something wrong. You are told that this is, next page. You're told that this cannot be fixed. No? Oh? Uh-oh. I think I scanned pages out of order. Or I skipped a page? Oh, I think I skipped a page. I'm sorry. I'll just read what is. I remember scanning this. Okay. The word's on my page. It might pop up later. We'll see. You're told that this cannot be fixed, but you know that you can help. You're told that this is too big for you, but you've seen the tiniest things make a huge difference. Okay, now we're on the right page. You're told that this won't work, but how will you know if you never try? You're told to sit and wait, but you know people have already waited too long. You're told that what's going on is very, very sad, but you're not just sad. You're scared. You're confused. You're angry. And maybe, just maybe, a little hopeful. You're told not to hope, but you keep hoping anyway. Sometimes you feel that you're all alone. But someday, somewhere, you find a friend. Someone who will hope with you, who believes in your dreams. Someone who will fight with you. You make a promise to each other. You say, there is a problem, but it's our problem together. So we can fix it together. This problem is big, but together we are bigger. You make another friend and tell them it's okay to be sad. And they tell you sometimes we'll lose, but that's all right. We'll try again. And so you do, together, working. Together beginning, over and over and over and over. Until no longer you're beginning, you're winning. Suddenly there's something you're sure is right, something you know you helped fix, something small that changed, something big, something that worked, something that makes you feel hopeful, happy, and loved. Something that is not a dream, but the day you live in. Something that makes you smile as you tell someone else. Okay, that's the end of the book. I know it ends a little suddenly. I wanted to share this book because there's so many problems in the world I think we can see. Not just in the world, though. Sometimes we go through some really difficult situations. I wanted to share that I struggle with depression. And so sometimes it makes it really hard to write a Dharma talk. Sometimes it makes it really hard to cook food. Sometimes it makes it really hard to come to temple because I'm going to see so many people and I just want to be alone. But when those days come, and sometimes they last many days or even weeks, I don't get swallowed up by that darkness because I know those feelings are impermanent and I know those things will change. So from deep within our own selves, impermanence can provide hope for our feelings, for our future. And together as a society, impermanence shows us that when we work together, we can enact change, and the bad things in the world are also impermanent. With that, I'd like to conclude my Dharma message. Please join me in Gassho as we say the name of the Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend CJ, for your wonderful Dharma message for the students. Please rise, if you are able, to follow along with the Gata Andakusan 2, which is on page 220 of the Purple Service Book. Please be seated. Now we would like to welcome the following new guest and old friends. If you wouldn't mind, you could either stand or if you're shy, just wave when you hear your name mentioned. A first-time guest is Lisa Clemens from Modesto. And some old friends, Joy Nakabuyashi Coyle and Dan Coyle. Lynn Nakabuyashi Noma and Mike Noma. And Sai Nakabuyashi and Sharon. We will now read the announcements that have been submitted. First, witnessing genocide, compassionate discussions, today at 12 p.m. in the social hall, hosted by the BBT Blend team. This is a continuation of Palestine and Israel discussions we had last month. Please join if you can, with an open heart and mind so we can have a compassionate, safe, and brave discussion. Online meditation and discussion, Wednesday, February 7th at 7 p.m. The sign-up link is on our website. BBT Dharma online study session, Thursday, February 29th at 6:30 p.m. Topic, dying, parinirvana, and impermanence. Sign-up link is on our website. JACL, Japanese American Citizens League, Intergenerational Potluck, Saturday, February 10th at 12 p.m. at the Berkeley Buddhist Temple. For you to attend, please bring a dish to share. More information is included in our weekly email and posted in the social hall. UC Berkeley Nikkei Student Union Day of Remembrance, Friday, February 16th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Stevens Lounge in the MLK building. Sign up by February 9th. More information is included on our weekly email and posted in the social hall. Jodo Shinshu parking lot will be available next Sunday, February 11th. The gate will be open at 9 a.m. and close at 9:30 a.m. sharp. Please arrive during this hour to take advantage of the JSC parking. Now the students will be dismissed to their classes. Would Dharma School students please go to the front, Ashoko, and go to the classroom? All others are invited to remain for the adult Dharma talk. We will now have an adult Dharma talk by Reverend CJ.
Good morning, everyone, again. Please join me in Gassho as I share a passage. With the pledges of friendship in this life, brief as a dream to guide us, we tie the bonds for meeting before enlightenment in the coming life. If I'm behind, I will be guided by others. If I go first, I will guide others. Becoming true friends through many lives, we bring each other to the practice of the Buddha way. And as true teachers in each life, we will together sunder all delusion and attachment. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 This passage for today's Dharma talk comes from Venerable Seikaku's tract, The Essentials of Faith Alone, or Yui Shinsho in Japanese. Venerable Seikaku is a contemporary and friend, probably, of our founder, Venerable Shinran, and a fellow student of Master Genku, or Honen. And The Essentials of Faith Alone is an important piece of literature that explains some of the fundamental teachings of the Pure Land Way. And Venerable Shinran commonly encouraged other Buddhists of his day to read it in order to answer the many questions that they had about Pure Land Buddhism. So important was The Essentials of Faith Alone in Master Shinran's thought that he wrote a commentary on it to further explain the Pure Land Buddhist teachings. Personally, this work and Shinran's notes on it are my favorite works in our tradition in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. I would say that the level of complexity of the Yui Shinsho is somewhere between Venerable Shinran's magnum opus, the Kyogyo Shinsho, which is quite difficult and requires a lot of research. And so it's a lot easier than that, but it's a bit more difficult than his shorter works, which are the letters that he wrote to his followers. If you're interested in reading a primary source material on Pure Land Buddhism, I highly recommend The Essentials of Faith Alone and Venerable Shinran's notes on The Essentials of Faith Alone, both of which are available in the Blue Book, The Collected Works of Shinran, which hopefully most of you have. For the month of February, our Dharma theme is impermanence, death, and parinirvana. And today I wanted to speak on impermanence, from a more general way than looking specifically at death and loss. Rather, I'd like to think of impermanence very simply as change. Maybe that word change holds less judgment or harshness when we think about it, though I know a lot of us don't like change. But I think we all know that change is the only constant in the universe. If we consider this passage from Venerable Seikaku, we see that he is speaking to the power of connection, of relationship, and how these pledges of friendship to one another help to guide us ultimately and eventually to liberation. Finally, we will, as he says, sunder all delusion and attachment, which is our goal in Buddhism. Perfect freedom from our inverted thinking, which is sundering delusion, and the deep pain that we feel from desiring constancy or a aversion and fear of change, sundering attachment. Today, I'd like to share a perspective on how our fear of impermanence, our fear of change, can be very harmful. This perspective comes from my own life, and I'm still figuring things out. It's a story that has no ending just yet. And I hope you won't judge me too harshly for sharing my honest feelings and what are meaningful to me, hopefully can be meaningful to you. On December 13th, just about 6 weeks ago, I lost one of the most important people in my life, my nanny. She was my paternal grandma, and she and my papa raised me as their own child for several years during my childhood. We were always very close. When I was 19, I was put into a situation where I had to come out to my family as LGBTQ. It was a very unsafe situation for me. I experienced threats of violence from some of my family members, and I had to move out on my own. I grew apart from my family of origin and left the church. Prior to all of this, though, even when I was a small kid, I knew that I was different. I didn't like doing the normal boy things, and I found myself attracted to all kinds of people. I know that some folks don't believe kids are aware of things like gender and attraction when they're really little, but I know by the age of 4, I didn't fit into the norms that I was supposed to. I remember at that age of 4, seeing on the news that Walt Disney World was having their first gay days, a big celebration of the LGBTQ community. In this news report, I remember seeing LGBTQ people going to Disney World, and very little CJ was very much identifying with how those people were, how they looked and acted. I'm not sure if I said or did something to indicate these feelings of belonging within the LGBTQ community, but I remember my parents sitting me down at 4 years old to tell me that those people are bad people and that they were going to hell because they're sinners. I was terrified, and because of that messaging as a little child, I quickly learned to hate myself. Honestly, I don't blame my parents because they were doing what they thought was right, trying to save their kid from a terrible life and eternal damnation. I didn't tell them about who I was and how I felt until I was 19, and I had no other choice at that time. For all of my childhood, I kept those feelings of guilt and self-loathing inside, but I often wonder how my life would have been different if all of us, my parents, my sister, myself, if we were not afraid of me growing up as a queer person. After I came out to my family, nothing was ever the same between all of us. I stayed close to Nanny and Papa. When I tried to visit my family back in Virginia, I was scared of being trapped, being abducted, and forced to live a life that wasn't my own, afraid of physical violence from my family and people in the community. But the point of joy was always visiting my Nanny and Papa during those trips. Losing my nanny back in December was really hard for me. But I recently realized something very special about our relationship. Nanny always loved plants, and we both enjoyed growing flowers. "How are your flowers doing?" was always a question that we asked each other on the phone when we would talk. I realized that Nanny was good with plants because she understood that when we care for one another as we grow, we have to nurture others in ways that they need to grow, and not in the ways that we want them to grow. When Nanny and I would say goodbye to one another during her visits, she told me many, many times, "I love you forever."
And while I'm still quite sad that I can't call her or give her a hug, I know that she lives on in me. Nanny was a devout Christian, but I also have no doubt that she was a bodhisattva, because she taught me the true meaning of love as nurturing others in ways that helps them to feel free and joyful and to grow. Even with Nanny's powerful embodiment of love in my life, I still struggle with complex trauma of my lost childhood, of hating and hiding myself in my formative years. Over time, though, that pain has transformed little by little, thanks to the opportunities that I've shared with our Sangha and deepening our ties of friendship. Only in the last 2 years have I learned that I don't need to be fixed, that I can be sad, and it's perfectly okay to be sad, because that sadness, while it returns often, is still impermanent. Between those periods of gloomy clouds, there's sunshine and love that I share with my Sangha. Since today is our Shotsuki service, and Reverend Matsumoto has been a very important part of my life, I like to follow his tradition in sharing a song with you. You should have a handout with the lyrics, I hope. If you don't, raise your hand and we can get one to you. I'll also be displaying them on the screen, so not entirely. Hoseki, yes, that's right. So the song is called Hoseki by Takako Tate. The song is in Japanese, but I've made a translation. If it's okay, I'd like to listen to this song together, and then we can read the lyrics. And I know this song is a very sad one, and in Japanese it's quite poetic. It was featured in the movie Daremo Shiranai, or Nobody Knows in English. This film won a lot of awards, and it follows the lives of a group of Japanese children in Tokyo who were abandoned by their parents. Mostly alone, they learn to take care of one another as best they can, and they make a few older friends along the way that help them out. But tragedy strikes when the youngest of them suffers a fatal fall and breaks her neck. When I first saw the film in 2004, it broke my heart. I remember sobbing on the floor of my family's house when I was 18 while watching the film with my mom. While it's a tremendously sad film, I don't think I understood exactly how deeply I connected to the feelings of abandonment that those children endured until many years later. The song Hoseki expresses that feeling of desolation and sadness. So let's listen to the song together, and afterward we can read my translation in English. On the other side of the handout that I gave you is the English translation that I did. I'll read it aloud and you can read along if you like. Even though I ask the midnight sky, the stars only shine. My heart melts and simply flows into a lake of darkness. Will angels turn round to see me once more? Will they bathe in my heart? Eventually, the coming winter's winds bring waves upon the waters of my heart. In the middle of the darkness, with eyes withered as ice, I am growing up. Who will draw near to this fetid jewel? In the black sky that seeps from my heart tonight too, the stars just shine. Before long, I inhale the glowing breath of spring. With eyes withered as ice, I'm growing up. Who will release this fetid jewel? Grief, it is said, changes us forever. Perhaps many of us here today gather to remember our loved ones and to remember them, and regardless of how long it may have been since they've passed, we may still carry sorrow of no longer being able to speak to them or to hold them in our arms. However, I believe that there is a spiritual alchemy that occurs when we hold our grief together as a Sangha. I'd like to close my Dharma talk today by sharing the words of Master Seikaku once more. Please join me in Gassho. With the pledges of friendship in this life, brief as a dream to guide us, we tie the bonds for meeting before enlightenment in the coming life. If I am behind, I will be guided by others. If I go first, I will guide others. Becoming true friends through many lives, we bring each other to the practice of the Buddha way. And as true teachers in each life, we will together sunder all delusion and attachment. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for listening to my Dharma talk and for sharing this song with me. That was, if it wasn't meaningful to any of you, it certainly was meaningful to me. So I appreciate you all. That will conclude our service for today. I'd like to thank Tori for being our chairperson. You're getting quite good at this. Thank you for your help. Thank you to the live streaming team for their help during today's service. Thank you to Emiko for playing and for leading the Gatha so beautifully. And thank you to the February Toban for our refreshments that are in the social hall. This concludes today's service. Thank you to everyone who joined us in person and online.